Just out for a little bit of a walk again. I think we've definitely had a fair share of negative comments on this channel. There's a lot of people don't relish the thoughts of living in a static caravan, and of course that's up to individual. I just don't think it's as bad as people make out. Every single site that you go to is going to be different. Everybody's got their own sets of rules. I find this site quite acceptable, and it does come with a few little perks as well. I think the main thing for me is that it's not a big commercial site, so probably not good for families. But for people my age who just want somewhere quiet, I find it perfect. We're in the middle at countryside and there's plenty of places to walk around, if for nothing more than just to check out the scenery. But there are also other things that happen on site that I find quite entertaining. Take a look at this. Well, that's not something that you see every day when you come out for your meal. Loads and loads of tractors have turned up along with farmers. So it's worth just having a little look around at these tractors. And there's certainly one or two. That's a particularly nice one right there, that little red one. I think somebody's left theirs running. But quite a few scattered across this car park. And they do this every now and again on this site. You get loads of tractors turn up. They're also parked up down side of the lane as well. Amazing. So around 20 or so farmers turned up, tractors and all, and they came for the dinner. And they do that every now and again. And you're allowed to look round all those tractors if that's something that you find interesting. They don't mind at all. They're very friendly people around here. Maybe it's just me, but I like this kind of relaxed atmosphere. I don't really want to be in a town or a city that's basically commercial, so you get hundreds and hundreds of people all turning up at the same time. I like the quiet side of life, and that's the reason we're on this site to start with. So I can just pop out anytime that I want and have a bit or a wander. We actually did a circuit of this area, and starting from that side over there, you can basically circle using the road all the way around and then back to where I'm stood right now. And it's about a 2.5 mile walk. So at least you're getting your steps in, if nothing else. Obviously that depends on weather. But we've got an on-site pub as well. And that pub is also a restaurant, and that's why the farmers are here today. I'm sure as part of the entertainment that they provide, they'll be offered a little bit of a discount. It's just that sort of place. Does it suit everybody? No, of course not. People like to be surrounded by pubs and multiple places to eat, arcades and things like that. Well, we can just go a few miles down the road if that's what we want. We just choose not to. We've got beaches all around us, so anytime we want to pop down to the beach, that's not a problem. But for me, more than anything, it's the peace and quiet. So lots of people have had a few negative comments to make about living in a static caravan, and it just boils down to one thing. Exactly what is it you're looking for? If you go to those big commercial sites, you're going to pay a lot more money in site fees, up to £6,500 a year, which is twice what we're paying. There's certain things that they'd never allow you to do. What I'm doing right now, where we are, I'm just walking down the far side of this caravan site, and there's no noise whatsoever. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And how many caravan sites do you know of that would let you do this right outside your van? That's a full-on flower and vegetable garden. And not only did they say I was allowed to do it, but they was very pleased with the results. So now we keep chucking a few extra lettuces and whatever we harvest that we can't use all at once across to that local pub, and they're more than happy to receive it. You can see we're growing lots and lots of things. I bought all these planters and set them up myself. It only took me around 6 weeks to start getting them filled up with produce. And we've got peppers, beetroots, carrots, celery, rhubarb, cucumbers, tomato plants, more tomato plants, strawberry plants, different types of lettuce, and even towers full of pod peas. We got a really nice display of petunias and then baskets on his veranda filled with Tumbling Tom cherry tomato plants and a nice full container of dwarf French beans. We've also got a couple of apple trees and a propagator for bringing plants on. They've let me put some sweet corn in ground just outside this van, and I've got a couple of potato plants as well. And around back we've got blueberries and cauliflowers, little pots of radish and spring onions, and some carrots. So not only a nice display, but very productive for us as well. Basically, all I wanted to do, be somewhere and get some peace and quiet, and not be too restricted by people's rules and regulations. And as you can see, they're quite lenient on this site, but they're also quite cheap compared to a commercial site. So although we have had quite a few negative comments based on being in a static caravan for any amount of time, I do think it's got its perks. The tractors were so amusing to see. But not only that, on the other side of that pub, they've put up a marquee and they're putting live bands on every other week. And the best bit about that is you don't have to pay anything. You just go over, get yourself a drink and enjoy music. But because you've got a caravan on this site, you also get 20% off oatmeals. So another little bit of a saving to get some really nice home cooked food. And they are really nice meals. So it's not all doom and gloom as some may think. I enjoy what I'm doing right now. I don't want to live in a town or a city ever again. And we're not even in a position where since we've been here that we're starting to lose money. We don't see savings slowly depleting. If anything, they're going up. So we've got really nice walks to go on. We've got such friendly people that are running this site that have let me do all that right outside this caravan. They only raise the site fees by 3% a year, which is very low compared to some. And that's obviously due to overheads, so you can't blame them for that. Any sites that put them up by 40% a year, and I have heard that some do, well, that's a different story, and we're not there. We're on this site that we're very happy with. And we've also been given a 5-year contract. And this is quite an old van, but they've still given us a 5-year contract. So it's not going to be a case of in a year or 2 years' time, they'll tell us to leave, get rid of this van. We're here for 5 years at least. And then they said they're going to review that contract on an annual basis. So as far as I'm concerned, if this van is still in good condition and we're putting on displays like that outside this van, which a lot of people have said looks really nice, I don't see any reason why after that 5 years they'd be asking you to move. I'm keeping everything nice and clean and tidy, and we're not rowdy people, which is something that you will find at bigger sites. The wife is working at that pub across the road, so we're getting a little bit of pay on that. It's only part-time work, but it's still something, based on the fact that we're in a position now where we haven't got to pay anything out for a year because we paid it all up front. So the only question is, after all your living costs and your energy costs, will we get to the end of this first year and have saved up enough to pay those site fees for the following year without delving into savings? We'll look at that when that time comes. But for now, I just wanted to point out that although we've had quite a lot of people that are saying it's not for them and you'll get ripped off and lots of other things, where we are, it's nothing like that. You just need to pick and choose and find the site that's right for you. I also think one other thing that's definitely worth mentioning is that because the wife's working at that local pub, part-time or not. Every single Sunday they have a carvery and they plate us up a fully loaded Sunday dinner for free. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of the channel, really do appreciate it. And if you want to see more caravan videos in future, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.